Top of it. It's Dylan Alexander. Thanks for checking me out. And on today's video, I want to talk about the harsh truth of the fact that there really is no 100% real freedom anymore. That's kind of like a thing of the past in today's modern world. Although I will say there are certain freedoms that you can acquire, there's levels to freedom. But as far as 100%, you can do what you want, man, there's only a handful of people that got that. And they're the ones that print the money. Those are the guys that got the real freedom. When you print the dollars in the most powerful country in the world, okay, you could probably really do anything you want. And I'm talking about anything, good or bad. And those people are usually kind of evil because it's just how it is, man. Humankind, when we get a certain level of power, it tends to corrupt. And that's just since the dawn of civilization. But that's a whole nother topic. But I'm really talking about freedom, right? And I'm bringing up this topic because it's a harsh reality that I think a lot of us don't truly grasp, because most of us aren't rich. We aren't millionaires, so we don't have a real sense of the extent of the possibilities of having real freedom, right? Take for example, I know there's a few prominent YouTube channels that I've noticed, man. Shout out Marquette Devon Burton, the Saint and the Sinner. Recently got his channel demonetized. And as you can see, I got the Saint. I didn't even plan that. I got his, I'm part of the Assassin, man. And he got demonetized recently for speaking out against, or not even really speaking out, but just, I guess, speaking his mind and going against the Israeli agenda and the Jews that are in power, from debating one of their own, one of those guys over there. And eventually, he got that email from the YouTube that just said, nah, you can't do that. Or, whatever. They run their own rules. They make up their rules on the go. There's no set like policy. It's just kind of like you can't speak on certain subjects. And of course, like Andrew Tate and a whole bunch of other YouTube channels that over the past few years getting their channels either taken off or demonetized. I think Fresh and Fit, they got their channel demonetized a while back. And that's why Rumble kind of started becoming popular, because it's, I guess, more free speech on there. But man, in the year 2025, we all can kind of see that when it comes to online in this, in this country, man, there's no freedom of speech anymore. Online, at least. I'm sure when you go outside in this country, there's still freedom of speech. I'm sure you go downtown, you can see you got the Jehovah's Witnesses or the Hebrew Israelites and all these other people downtown at night. They'll be speaking their mind, and it's free. There is free speech in person, but online, no sir. These platforms are different, you see, because technically online is not America. Online is online. These platforms are not America. They're just another entity. And it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter the level of money you have or fame, influence. It doesn't matter. There's really no 100% freedom unless you are the owner of the platform. Like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and the owner of YouTube, they can get on the platforms and say whatever they want. I mean, only really Elon Musk is flexing that muscle. He gets on Twitter and he takes advantage of that. But it just goes to show you, man, this world doesn't play fair. And that's something that I've learned when I was younger. I remember teachers would tell me in the class that, when a kid would complain and say, "Oh, that's not fair," would something happen, and the teacher would like respond back with, "Well, life is not fair." Right? I don't know if y'all ever had a teacher that said that. But now I'm a grown adult and I'm starting to really, I've been seeing it, but it's true. Now I fully grasp what they meant by life is not fair. Because life is not fair at all. You gotta fight and claw for every advantage possible in this life. Or else you're gonna be on the losing end, man, every single time. Right? So, and it's just something that we all need to be aware of when it comes to what we're striving for. If you guys are looking to get rich one day, I know I am. That's a big goal of mine. But before I get there, I'm aware that, hey, it's still not 100% freedom. You can do more things, you have more options of the life you can live. But 100% freedom is not a thing anymore. Unless, maybe you're some tribe in the middle of Papua New Guinea or something and nobody's discovered you, and okay, you got a lot of freedom right there. Nobody knows about you. You got your little spot on the world. That's 100% freedom. Granted, you're not in civilization. You don't have the comforts and the amenities of a first world country or whatever, but you're free. You can do what you want. When there's no police, it's nice, right? So this is just life, man. It's just one of those realities you have to accept. And it's not necessarily the worst thing ever, but I will say, as time goes on, man, I think it will get a little bit sketchy with these big corporations, these companies, these countries, one of which I've mentioned earlier, the one that starts with is and then Rael. Yeah, they're seeming to really, they're a new country too, and they're starting to really flex their muscle and take advantage of the world powers. And over time, it's not looking good for anybody that goes against them and their ideologies and way of living. So these next couple decades are going to be a little sketchy, I believe, and I think we all should be mindful and we all should prepare and do your best, man, to get your hustle on, because you might want to be able to just dip up out of here and find a new location, and we can all be able to have some kind of freedom, because it's looking like a lot of freedoms are slowly getting chipped away at. Like I mentioned, man, freedom of speech, the thoughts you have. Propaganda's always been here, since civilization has begun, but it's looking like if you go against any propaganda, man, it's like, and people, these corporations, they know what we think, and they know when you're going against them. And it's like, they got a file on us, man. They know about what you're into, what you think, what you like. They're listening. They got data. They have data centers everywhere. It's one of the biggest forms of real estate out here is data centers, especially with this AI and all these computers that just store just gigabytes and terabytes and kablamabytes. I made that up, but there's just a bunch of information that they just have on everybody. And they don't tell you about it. They don't say, hey, can we get your information? No, they're just collecting. And they've been collecting since they've been able to collect. And it's like, it's getting more organized and smarter. The AI's files are more sophisticated to where it's getting real, man. So I think it's imperative, man, for us to start to really be mindful about what we do, how we move, what we say, what we think around each other. You know, these technological devices we have with us that are always listening. To just be aware, man. Just to be sharper, because we're gonna have to outsmart these robots and these computers, man. We're gonna have to find a way to outwit them, because the powers that be, man, they don't have good intentions, and they're gonna keep on being more sophisticated and going against the regular man who just wants to just live a good life. They're against humanity. Humanity is at war with this evil. And I don't want to get all dark and dreary, man, but it's the truth, man. We got to stay sharp and stay aware, because it's just looking bad out here. It's getting dark, man. And so I think it's important to just be aware and be able to anticipate, so we won't be able to fall victim to the clutches of all these things, man. So I'm saying all this to say, man, just stay sharp. Think ahead before you do something. And, just keep God on your side, man. Stay prayed up. Even if you don't believe, man, you got to believe in something. Because there's no point of just being out here against these gigantic powers and you're just a little man, and, it's like you're helpless. But that's not the way we're going to survive out here, man. We got to really buckle up and stay sharp, because we're going to need all the power and advantage we need to thrive and take on this thing, because it's only just starting, man. It's going to get so crazy. 2025 and beyond, it's getting crazy out here. So yeah, I hope this helps, man. I hope you guys are staying aware, but enjoy your day, man. Nonetheless, life is still beautiful. And yeah, I appreciate y'all listening, man. Leave a like if you mess with it. If you mess with me, go ahead and subscribe, man. I got more stuff on the way. And comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this topic, because it's pretty fascinating. Freedom, one of those words that might go away one day, But anyways, I appreciate it, man. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.